Imagine waking up every single night at the exact same hour, not to silence, but to the deafening, relentless crash of hammers, the screech of handsaws, and the heavy boots of strangers pacing outside your bedroom door. For most, that is a waking nightmare. But for Sarah Winchester, one of the wealthiest women in America, it was a deliberate survival tactic. That constant, maddening construction was the only thing keeping her alive. This is the Winchester Mystery House, a sprawling machine designed specifically to trap and contain the dead. To understand the bizarre architecture of this maze, we have to trace the fortune that paid for every single nail. The money came directly from the Winchester repeating rifle. Across the country, it was known as the gun that won the West. It was a mechanical marvel capable of firing 15 rounds in mere seconds. But that efficiency came with a staggering body count.
The rifle was responsible for thousands upon thousands of deaths across the American frontier. Then, abrupt tragedy struck Sarah's own home. Her infant daughter died of a sudden illness, followed shortly by the premature death of her husband, William. Sarah was left shattered and sitting on an inheritance of $20 million, earning an income of $1,000 a day in the 1880s. Consumed by grief and a creeping feeling that she was constantly being watched, she consulted a Boston spiritual medium. The psychic delivered a terrifying diagnosis. A dark cloud of vengeance hung over the family. The spirits of every soldier, every outlaw, and innocent civilian killed by a Winchester rifle were angry, and they were coming for her. Sarah possessed virtually unlimited financial resources, yet no amount of cash could buy protection from her own family's lethal legacy. She desperately needed a supernatural defense against an invisible enemy. The medium gave her one strict rule for survival. She had to move out west, buy a house, and start building. If you continue building, you will live, the psychic warned. Stop, and you will die. In 1884, Sarah relocated to San Jose, California, purchasing a simple 8-room farmhouse. She immediately hired a crew of carpenters, and for the next 38 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the hammering never ceased. Yet on this massive construction site, there were no master blueprints. No professional architects were ever hired to draw up plans. Instead, every night at midnight, the mansion's bell would ring. Sarah would lock herself inside a private séance room located in the center of the house, a room with one entrance but 3 exits, to consult with good spirits. They would dictate the next day's baffling floor plans until a 2 a.m. bell banished them until the following night. She was acting as a desperate conduit, translating supernatural instructions directly into physical wood and nails to appease a ghostly mob. The result of those midnight sessions was a massive, disorienting labyrinth. It was carefully designed to confuse and trap the vengeful entities hunting her. If a spirit followed a flight of stairs, they would stare at a solid dead-end ceiling. She built cabinets opening into solid brick walls and chimneys stopping inches from the roof. Step through the door to nowhere and plunge 20 feet straight down. Inside this maze, Sarah employed her own evasion tactics. She wandered the halls in the dead of night, slipping through secret passageways just a few feet wide, and refused to ever sleep in the same bedroom 2 nights in a row. This strange architecture defies all conventional logic. But to a mind consumed by total paranoia, it was a highly functional, calculated machine built to outsmart an invisible enemy. In 1906, physical reality violently crashed into her delusion. The devastating San Francisco earthquake struck the Bay Area. The massive shaking caused the top 3 floors of the mansion to shear off and collapse. Sarah was trapped inside her shifting, fractured bedroom for hours before her staff could dig her out of the rubble. She didn't view this as a natural disaster. In her mind, the ghosts were furious that she was nearing completion of the front section of the house. She retaliated. Sarah ordered her crew to board up the entire destroyed front half of the mansion. The damage was never repaired. She sealed those angry spirits inside the wreckage forever and simply kept building outward in other directions. The disaster effectively forced the maze to evolve, cementing the cycle of continuous construction as her only path forward. But you cannot outrun death forever, no matter the size of your bank account. On September 5, 1922, Sarah Winchester died peacefully in her sleep. The very moment the foreman received the news, he shouted to the crew, and the carpenters immediately dropped their tools. The halt was so sudden that some workers left nails hammered only halfway into the floorboards, abandoning them exactly where they stood. After 38 years of relentless, maddening noise, echoing 24 hours a day, the massive estate finally fell completely silent. The house had grown into a monstrous cage. It contained over 160 rooms, 10,000 panes of glass, 2,000 doors, and 47 fireplaces. Looking at this sprawling complex today, you have to ask, did Sarah Winchester truly construct a working machine to trap the dead? Or was she a grieving widow driven mad by guilt? Whether or not the house ever captured a single ghost is beside the point. The blood money and the paranoia successfully trapped Sarah Winchester inside her own mind for half her life. Today, guides and visitors constantly report feeling sudden freezing drops in temperature and seeing shadows darting through the endless twisted halls. If you dare to explore more dark, unsolved secrets hidden in American history, subscribe to Untold States Docs and turn on the bell notification. We'll see you in the next mystery.